Hello everyone, and welcome to one of the biggest banner reviews that I am going to do this year. And let me tell you right now that before we start, you're going to notice that the name has changed for this series of videos. First of all, it is no longer going to be called Banner Reviews. It is actually going to be called Banner Verdict. Why am I calling it Banner Verdict? Because I've been rebranding a whole bunch of stuff, and now it's time to rebrand this. Banner Verdict just sounds like a better title, so that's basically why I'm doing it. But long story short, before we get into it, there is one really important detail. Actually, there are two important details I need to mention first. First of all, well, three important details. First of all, I did not mention in my last video that we know the collaboration this month, it will be Octopath Traveler. Good. My conscience now feels clear about that. Second thing is that, I just need to find my mouse, there we are. There has been uncovered in the data a big new limited time banner. Now this banner will cost 10k Lapis, but it will give 2 4-star guaranteed tickets, 20 regular tickets, 2 guaranteed rainbow tickets, a 10% trust removal, and 3 level max cactars. Long story short, I don't need to tell you that this is just probably the best banner we've seen in a really long time. So you might want to think about getting 10k Lapis together for this banner. However, it's not going to necessarily be easy because it turns out the unit that we will be looking at today is rather impressive. Now, the third thing I'm going to mention is that tonight, in approximately 3 hours from when this video goes up, I will be doing an Akstar live stream where 1 hour after starting, 9 p.m. Japanese Standard Time, I will be doing pulls for Akstar, and a whole bunch of pulls. Whole bunch, because there's a lot of different ways to get him. But long story short, that is all the important details. Now, cue the music, let's get into this. So every once in a while, there is a unit that comes along that is just fantastic, that is above and beyond everything that we've seen before. And this is almost one of those moments, I should say. Got you going there for a second, because Akstar is really great. And in the preparation for this video today, I took a look at 3 of the top tier attackers. CG Hayu, who has a very strong limit burst and still very strong chaining skills. Satan, who is just one of the highest base attacks in the game, and is one of the most powerful units, with a ton of innate killers against humans and machines. And last, Jet, another very powerful unit that has not stacking damage, but backloaded damage. Basically all little hits, and then the final hit is a big hit. And that is a really powerful new form of chaining. But all 3 of these attackers were who I was going to come in comparing Akstar to. And as it turns out, Akstar is a mix of all 3 of these guys, all of their strengths, and barely any of their weaknesses. So with that being said, let's bring up the data real quick. So long story short, I expect Akstar to be the brand new meta unit. He is basically CG Hayu version 2.0. People who have Satan already, congratulations to you. But I'm going to say that Akstar is just better in versatility than Satan is. Yes, Satan has a lot of innate killers that mean absolutely nothing in a lot of trials where the enemy is not a human or a machine, which as it turns out does happen in the game. It does happen a lot. Akstar has a lot of flexibility in his kit. It does not have it doesn't have an innate problem on like 90% of his chaining skills, which are non-elemental. However, as it turns out, Akstar is better than what we were promised. In the initial readout of his information on the live stream, basically I heard that he was going to have the fire element. And the fire element scared me because while the fire element is definitely a strong element with some good debuffers in its class, it also has the problem that, hey, if you're only bound to that element, you don't have a lot of flexibility. But as it turns out, Akstar has 2 elements. He can both imbue himself with either fire or ice. This is great. This gives him a lot of flexibility that he can add to either of his chaining abilities, or he can add neither of them, which is really amazing. It is absolutely fantastic. And speaking of fantastic, Akstar doesn't have the innate weakness that Citan does. Citan's chaining options are really bad for a lot of his cases, mainly because he requires, for his most popular chain form family, the other person needs to have the water element on their attack, which is not necessarily the easiest thing to do. So Citan has always had this problem with chaining. Akstar does not have this problem. As a matter of fact, Akstar has fire and ice, but in theory, if there are other katanas later on, he can be put those on and have that element on any of his chaining families. Now, what chaining families does he have? Well, only the 3 most important chaining families in the game. The C.G. Reagan style of chaining family, which is 8 hits at 6 frames, which a ton of units can do. Not only that, he also, wait for it, has access to Holy Explosion. Oh dear God, yes. The Holy Explosion chaining family has just been the most reliable chaining family in the past. I absolutely love this chaining family for a ton of reasons, least of which is that it is just super reliable and widespread at this point. This makes Akstar just potentially the best friend of so many units. Orlandu, Nagi, tons of characters. Sephiroth. There are so many characters that can pair with this guy, meaning that he is a great friend unit to put up because a lot of people can chain with him. But those 2 aren't the only chaining family he gets. He also gets the Runeera, Nagi, Konshira family 30 hits at 4 frames. All of this is absolutely incredible. He has tons of attack passives. He has 150% true dual end in his kit naturally, which adding his own TMR puts him at 200%, meaning that you only need 1 cloud materia to get him to the 300% cap very quickly. Not only that, but he has a very high base attack, 206, just like Citan, which also puts him higher than both CG Hayu and also Jet, meaning that he can reach incredibly high attack power just like Citan. Now the other real benefit is that his super TMR is 180 attack, which is the highest attack katana in the game. It doesn't have the passives that Citan's have, but it does have damage variance. At the time of this recording, I still haven't seen the data on what the damage variance is, but it's probably expected to be 1.5 or, if we're really lucky, 1.6. If it's 1.6, it's going to be insane. Long story short, all of Akstar's kit is incredibly powerful, incredibly versatile, and the best friend of a ton of units. Akstar is a great unit because of this versatility, which puts him ahead of CG Hayu as well as Citan and Jet, in my opinion. Also because most of his chaining abilities are backloaded just like Jet. He has a ton of strengths from all of these characters with multiple options naturally to himself. He also has a lot of healing options for himself too, which is rather impressive. Long story short, I really love this unit. This unit is fantastic. A lot of people may say different things about him, but I have to say that his banner is insanely good. I love the 2 4-stars and the 3-star base on it. The 3-star base has a great TMR for healers. You'll probably get lots of her. That's fantastic. But if we're going to talk about the other unit on here, the 4-star with a 70% katana mastery, or for trust mastery, is an insanely high-powered materia that is not a super TMR. Fantastic to get multiple of those units, and this is a great opportunity to use it because, as we know, this banner will also be giving away free trust moogles, so you might as well spend all those 4-star tickets. There is no reason not to. Now, starting in Verdict, my new segment, we're also going to be looking at the 3 key abilities. So first of all, I want to talk about this one. An AoE at 14 hit at 1490% physical attack, ignoring 50% defense, that also gains access to a whole bunch of stuff for passives like triple casting. Sorry. So this is a powerful attack 14 hits at a 1490% is a very strong ability to have access to. But not only that, giving him triple cast as well as 300% damage modifiers for multiple of his abilities. Not only that, but his limit... Sorry, I should have said, this is his limit burst. This is a very powerful limit burst. It's not 30 hits like Hayu, and that is a weakness. But it is still AoE, and it still hits pretty damn strong, because it also ignores 50% defense. Giving him triple cast for multiple turns and powering up his other abilities means that this guy can dish out a lot of damage. 100% for some of his more advanced abilities, but trust me, that will add up very quickly given how many chaining options he has. So his limit burst is definitely, and that's the wrong one next. Whoops. Anyway, his limit burst is one of his key abilities, I think, because it does give him access to triple cast, and it is very strong. The 14 hits, I believe, are listed under Clear Tranquility, are 40, then let me just double check before I speak too loud. Absolute Tranquility is 70,666,666. So it will probably only chain with himself, but it's still a strong limit burst that has some clear benefits to him. Now I lost the screen. There it is. Next one, this one. In his 7th star, he has a 72 MP chaining ability. This works really well with a lot of his other stuffs that gives him buffs, mainly because this ability is at Holy Explosion chain framing, and once you put the element on him, you can just use this ability pretty regularly. 6 hits, back end, lots of damage on the final hit at 180%, minus 50, or ignoring 50% defense, but also the 75% debuff to fire and ice resistance for 5 turns. That's a big debuff to his 2 types. So unlike Satan, he also has really long elemental debuffs, which Satan you basically have to bring someone else to do your debuffs, especially if you are relying on 2 Satans in the fight. So I really love this. For one thing, it is powerful. For the second thing, it has a very strong debuff, and it works with Holy Explosion chaining. It's just very strong. And the last key ability is one of his cooldown abilities. For 5 turns, he will give himself a 250% attack boost, which is just in line with the strongest attack boost in the game. Now, unfortunately, Satan does have the benefit here because he gives himself a 250% boost to all his stats, not just attack. So Akstar is mainly just an attacker. Satan will probably have more survivability in fights. But it also gives himself modifiers to his attacks. It gives him triple cast for 3 turns, which is actually not bad because by then you'll probably have charged up his limit burst. It's also on a 5-turn cooldown, and it's available turn 1. Incredibly strong. I love these abilities that just power up and get ready to dish out some damage really quickly. And it works really well with a whole bunch of other abilities, giving him triple cast the next turn. Like Satan, this is just a really great ability. Also like Faye too, but both Faye and Satan have multiple skills that give benefits to all of his stats. So long story short, the Akstar banner is a 100% go for it. I have no problems recommending this to anybody who plays the game, and anybody who will start the game. This is just one of the strongest units we have ever seen in terms of versatility and power. Needless to say, I will be going super hard for him, and you all should get super hard for him too. I don't think I said any euphemisms, but it doesn't matter anyway. I will see you guys during the stream tonight, where we will be definitely getting some Akstar in our life. So that's all for now. I will see you in the next Banner Verdict, which will be Octopath Traveler, our collaboration for July. Had to find my mouse. There it is. See you next time.